Thank you. So this is actually probably my favorite story I have to tell in general, and even I myself don't believe a single word of it, but I'll preface it by saying that I should probably be dead today. It was in the fall of 2003, and I had just moved to Japan for my semester abroad, and my university had organized this social mixer. It was a barbecue picnic on the beaches of Kamakura, this town about an hour and a half outside of Tokyo. And it's exactly what you would imagine, about 30 to 40 really nerdy white guys all flirting with about the 8 or 9 Japanese female students who showed up. And it was there that I met this woman, and I don't remember her name, so I'm going to be a jerk and very stereotypical and cliche, and I'm going to call her Yumi. She wasn't a student at the school, no one knew where she came from or why she was there, but sure enough, I spent the night flirting with her, and at the end of the night, she invited me to go sing karaoke with her on another day. So, of course I say yes, and I go and I meet up with her in this small bar in Roppongi, which is this horrible club district of Tokyo, known as being like a cesspool of asshole foreigners all looking to score and, party. So I go to this club and she's there, and there's these 2 other Australian guys, and I've traveled and backpacked enough to know that Aussies on holiday are crazy and dangerous. If you want to get locked up in a foreign country or take a ride on the Midnight Express, share a few tequila shots with some Aussies. So it's totally awkward and weird, and we're being total cavemen, all competing for this woman's attention and affection, but she wasn't interested in any of us. At the end of the night, she makes her true intentions known, and she tells us that her father is a doctor who's doing this study, and he needs blood samples specifically from white men, and he has sent her out to recruit white guys for this. And her father will pay us about $250 for an initial sample of our blood, and if we pass a drug and STD screening, he will then pay us $1,000 to return and give about a pint of blood. And when you're young and dumb and you're traveling, you make really bad decisions, and generally you're also probably broke, so we all agreed to go and do this. About a week later, I'm invited to go to her father's medical practice. It was in this suburb about an hour outside of Tokyo, and I get there and it's this small row home. It's like a normal American-style row home. On the inside, it's a normal living room with a normal kitchen. The only thing that wasn't normal was the 15 to 20 Japanese high school girls sitting around. They were all chain smoking, and the 2 Australian guys were there, and they were acting really nervous and freaked out because they had already seen the doctor. And I'm looking around on the walls, and there's all of these medical depictions of vaginas and ovaries and cervixes and fetuses, and I realized that this is probably an unlicensed abortion clinic. And it's a few minutes later when I'm called up to the upstairs where his actual doctor's office is, and I get in there, and it's a mess. There's dirty plates everywhere, paper stacked up to the ceiling everywhere, and the doctor himself looks like a character from a fucking horror movie. There's an industrial gynecological table in the middle of the room, and before even saying anything, he pulls out a clean needle, sticks it in my arm, and starts taking out my blood. And then the whole time, he's looking at me, smiling, laughing, and saying, "Look at your blood! It's your blood! Look at your blood!" And as soon as he's done taking about 3 small vials of blood, he hands me $250 cash, and closes the door behind me. 3 weeks later, I get another phone call from Yumi. I'm the only one who passed the drug test, and she asks me if I'm still interested in $1,000, and I'm an idiot, and I say yes. This time, she gives me a different address to meet her. It's at an actual hospital this time, so I feel a little less freaked out until I get there. I have to meet her at the ass crack of dawn, and at the time, I thought that was normal because this is Japan, and that's what they do. They get up really, really, really early. And I'm at this hospital, but it's abandoned. It's not even open. It's still in the process of being built. And Yumi is there, and she leads me into the hospital, and before I know it, she's leading me down these pitch dark hallways with a flashlight. It's like a scene from a horror movie, and that's when I started to really freak out, and I think she could see it on my face, so she turns to me and says, "Can I kiss you?" And because I'm an idiot, I said yes. So we're making out in this dark hallway, and I'm like expecting a little 8-year-old girl in a white dress with long black hair covering her face to come out of the ground and tear my soul out from my asshole and take it back to hell with her. But then her cell phone goes off, and she answers it and then turns to me and says, "We need to go out to the parking lot." So I follow her out to the parking lot, glad to be outside, until this ambulance comes screeching into the lot. I mean, it almost turns over and hits us before it stops. And the doors of the ambulance just burst open, and these 3 Japanese nurses in white latex skirts and biohazard masks jump out of the ambulance. They look like Asian fetish models or something from a Marilyn Manson video or Silent Hill video game, and they're grabbing me by my arms and dragging me into the ambulance. And I am totally freaking out. I'm screaming, I'm yelling, but they have me shackled to the chair before I even know it. Yumi is whispering in my ear, Daijubu, relax, relax, while rubbing my knee, and I couldn't tell if I was aroused or shitting myself. Sometimes it's a fine line between the two. And they're taking vial after vial of blood. They're taking too much blood. I'm starting to get woozy. I'm starting to pass out. I'm terrified that my body's going to be discovered in some dumpster like a week from now. I'm in the middle of nowhere, Japan, and no one knows I'm here. But after they take all this blood, they have to help me get me back on my feet because I'm so drained. And Yumi stays in the ambulance, the doors close, the ambulance peels out of the lot just as quickly as it came, and I'm standing there dazed and confused, freaked out, thinking that I'm going to spontaneously combust at any moment, thinking that maybe they poisoned me with some weird disease. About 10 minutes later, this black limo comes into the parking lot, and this little stout Japanese man in a black tuxedo gets out. He looks like a Bond henchman. And he has a name card with my name written in Japanese on it, Gregory Christie. He advises me to get into the limo. I get in. He hands me an envelope with $1,000 US cash and says, Delco, where? I hand him my school ID with the address to my school, and he drives me back, and that was that. I never heard from Yumi. I tried calling her. Her number was disconnected. For months and years, I was terrified that I was used as some type of guinea pig for some nefarious experiment, that I was going to bring some type of chemical warfare, disease with me back to the US. But it's been 12 years, and I'm still standing here, and I swear to my memory, as best as I can remember, this is something that happened. Thank you.